Listen, there are a million guys online trying to teach you about productivity. The problem is, most of this advice won't actually work for you because it's designed to sell courses, get clicks, and go viral. And now I've spent 6 years of my life reading every self improvement book, watching every self improvement podcast, and studying some of your favorite self improvement creators like, let's say, Hamza, Iman Ghazi, Ali Abdal, all of the guys you could name. I did this because when I was younger, I struggled with chronic time waste. I had a 12-hour screen time average per day, and I spent 8,000 hours on video games in just 2 years. And so I dedicate all of my life for a large period of time to fixing this issue. And today I'm going to teach you the single harshest but most rewarding productivity lesson you'll ever learn. Let's get started. So, let me tell you something that will blow your mind and that certainly drew mine. And it's this little fact. The average knowledge worker, so a knowledge worker like me and you, someone that uses their brain or hopes to use their brain to make money, not their physical body, which is what you dream of, right? The average knowledge worker now uses 11 different productivity apps and systems simultaneously. 11 different systems. What's even crazier is that despite all these tools, research shows productivity has actually decreased by 23% since 2019 for the average person. It's gotten worse, not better, worst. 11 systems. 11 systems. And it's gotten worse. Get this. 68% of people with that productivity system abandoned it within 3 weeks. Meanwhile, the productivity industry is worth 83 billion annually. Yet people report feeling more overwhelmed than ever. What's my point with all of this data? Why am I just bombarding you with bro science? My point is this. Clearly, like undeniably, there's something wrong. If the industry that promises to teach you how to be productive is worth 68 billion, but you're producing less, you're less productive while having more systems, what does that mean? It means that every new system that you're taking time to learn, paying money to actually buy and educate yourself with, and sacrificing your social, your educational, your vocational life to actually implement your life, all of this sacrificed energy, time, and money is for nothing. And not for nothing, it's actually making you worse. Just think about that for a second. Every dollar that you've spent on productivity, every second that you spent on productivity, every friendship you've lost because of productivity, all of it has been for nothing but a decreased productivity. So something is clearly wrong. But why is that? Well, the reason is dark as fuck, if I'm honest. It is dark as fuck why it is that the productivity industry keeps growing and yet you're getting nothing for it. You're getting no bang for your buck. You're getting nothing for the emotional burden that this is carrying on you. Because I know it's heavy. I know what it feels like to not produce anything. So here's the truth nobody wants to tell you. Modern productivity advice is optimization without production. You're sharpening the axe, but you're literally never swinging it. Most productivity advice out there is you getting ready to get ready. That's literally all it is. That's all you're doing all damn day. You're doing what I like to call a productivity theater, where you look productive, you feel productive, you seem productive, but you're not actually producing anything in the first place. You're not moving forward. You're not actually taking a step in life. That's terrible. That's fucking terrible, right? You're doing so much. You feel like you're doing so much, but you're getting nothing for it. You're spending more time learning systems than doing the actual work. You're spending more time not working when you're thinking of working. And you're going to bed every night knowing just how much more you could have done. How much you're failing your blood, your future wife, your future kids, your ancestors, your faith, your God. God is watching you and you're just not doing anything. You're not working at all. It's a terrible feeling. I hated this feeling. And I had this feeling every single day of my life when I was young, a burning feeling, which is why I spent so much time doing the research. Because I never want another man, especially you, to feel it again. And so the question becomes, how do you escape productivity theater and finally enter real productivity? And the answer lies in four conditions, four non negotiables that, when combined, create perfect focus and unstoppable output. Four conditions that are magical two words, which I will cover soon, will accomplish for you automatically. Condition number one, time pressure. There's a study I once saw about two groups that were given identical tasks, and I think it was something like making pots. And so they were told to make as many pots as possible, but also as to a certain quality standard. So they couldn't just pop out a bunch of shit pots, right? One team got, I think it was like a week, and then the other team got like 3 weeks to make as many pots as possible. And what's funny is that group one made more pots and better pots in a week than group two made in 3 weeks, even though they had 3 times the amount of time. This is Parkinson's law, which literally just means, or it's just the law that states that work will expand to fill the time that you give it. And so, why did this group number one, why did they produce more pots even though they had less time? Because when you have less time, you cut out the fluff. When you have time pressure, you cut out the fluff, you cut out the bullshit work, and you focus on what really matters. Second, you're forced to be in flow. You're forced to actually focus and not be distracted and do half-ass work. You have no choice because you have no time. And that's why condition one of great work, of productivity, of living a productive life is to constantly have time pressure. Condition number two is kind of like that, and it's immediate stakes. So to me, immediate stakes means this: a negative result that would immediately and unavoidably follow a certain action or lack of action. So think, for example, you promised me that you were going to make slides and present them for the entire group in 2 hours, and you haven't done them yet. And if you don't do them, everyone's going to laugh at you, and they're going to be embarrassed. You're going to get kicked out the group, and you're going to lose your job. Are you gonna do the slides? Of course you're gonna do it. Are you gonna lose your job for some slides? Are you gonna lose your social reputation for some slides? Are you gonna look like a clown for some slides? No, there's an immediate stakes. But if I asked you to make me a slide and if you didn't do it, nothing would happen. It's just like I kinda asked you as a favor. You probably would forget. How many times has a friend asked you for a random favor? Hey, can you get me this? And you just forget. But when your boss, who pays your check and who pays your bills, or your teacher, who has your parents' number and can call your parents and tell them you're failing class, when they threaten you and go, hey, I'm going to call your parents and send you to detention and take away your phone if you don't do your homework. Are you going to do the homework? Of course you're going to do the homework. But if there was no teacher, if your parents didn't care, you wouldn't do your homework. And so immediate stakes matters. You need to have an immediate punishment. And the way I just defined it, a negative result that would immediately and unavoidably follow a certain action or lack of action. You need that with every task and every work session. The third condition is volume. So you need to be doing a lot, or you need to be doing enough to actually move you forward and actually build momentum, because that's really condition number three. Condition number three is momentum, but you achieve momentum with volume, right? If I want to be building momentum in the gym, I'm not going to go to the gym once a week. I have no momentum. I go on Sunday, and by the time next Sunday comes around, all the momentum's gone. But if I'm going to the gym 6 times a week, I only have a day off. And so that there's just this constant snowball, this constant momentum. And so condition number three is momentum achieved through constant action. And then condition number four is lack of distraction or complete removal of constraints. So a study from Duke University found that 45% of daily behaviors are habits performed in the same location, same place, same behavior. So what that means is that environment design beats willpower every single time. You need to remove every barrier between you and your work if you want to work. Every single one. Now, what two words? I want to see if you can guess. Maybe write down in the comments. What two words do you think achieve those conditions automatically without you having to think about it? Just a little hint. One of the conditions already kind of gives you the answer. What do you think? Two words that would achieve all this automatically. Well, I'll tell you how I figured this out while you sit there and try to guess. I've been doing YouTube for a really long time, and I've never really known what I wanted to do. I never really knew exactly what I wanted to make my videos about and my message to be, how I wanted the videos to look, and my general talking style and the person I wanted to sell men to be. I never really knew what that was. And so I spent so much time theoretically brainstorming it. I would sit there and be like, oh, this is going to be my target audience. This is the man I'm going to make content for. And I kept doing this constantly. And so I would post a video once a week, twice a week. And at one point recently, I actually got off YouTube for a month or two, and all my progress was lost. And my wife started treating you differently, lost her respect. You're not working as hard anymore. Obviously, she didn't tell me this, but I could tell you, you're not working as hard anymore. You're not doing as much. I was losing subscribers. I was getting no views. I was getting no traction. My dreams stopped dead on their tracks. I lost sight of the vision. I didn't know the path forward. And I just remember being pretty hopeless one day. and going on my YouTube and going to YouTube Studio, which is where you see all your analytics and stuff. And I had another app, I think it's called Buffer, where I could see all of my analytics across all my platforms. And I just remember seeing this short period of time in my 2 year journey, like literally like a month, where 90% of my views came from, where 90% of my subscribers came from, where 90% of the people that signed up to my old community, the one I shut down, came from. All of my progress came from this short period of time. And so I started studying it. I was like, what happened? Well, why did I do so much better this time? Why did my wife respect me so much more? Why did I feel more like myself? Why was I producing more, moving my goals forward? Why did all the progress to my goals only happen within a month out of 2 years? What was the difference? What was the one catalyst action? It had to be something big and complicated, right? It had to be something that is just that I just magically tapped into that is no one's talking about. It had to be complicated, right? I mean, it couldn't be simple. It's what my ego was telling me. And so I go to YouTube. Okay, I posted a video every single day. Okay. Maybe that's something, but we'll see. I'll go to YouTube Shorts. Well, I was posting 10 shorts a day. Wow. That's already 11 posts a day. Oh, I was posting 10 TikToks a day. Wow. Oh, I was posting 5 Instagram Reels a day. Wow. I was posting 5 times on community post. And I kept breaking it down. And I was posting 200 times a day for 2 to 3 weeks only. Yeah, but 200 times a day. That was it. That was it. All of my growth came from these 2, 3 weeks. You want to know why? Because of two magical words: do more. I just did more. I literally, you're gonna want to click off. You're like, oh, this video is wasting my time. I literally just did more. I was posting once a week, maybe, for most of my journey, once every 2 weeks, at best 3 times a week, whatever the number, 3 times a week. Does that compare to 1,400 times a week? I mean, what's the number? What's the math on that? It's ridiculous. It's 45x more per week, 45 times more. I was doing 45 times more than I was. But guess what? I got 1,000 times more. In my entire YouTube journey, I've gained 700 subs. 500 came from that 2, 3 week period. 500. When I was on Twitter, I'll tell you one story. I'm going back to this, which is why I'm making this video. I've been doing this. I'm posting 200 times a day again. And I'm sticking with it this time because I've seen the numbers and it just makes sense. And I implemented this into Twitter. In one day of doing this, I got more impressions on Twitter, which is like views on Twitter, than I've got in 2 weeks. 2 fucking weeks in one day. And in the last 4 or 5 days, I've done, I mean, I don't even know what the number is. Like, I was getting 1,000 impressions for 2 weeks beforehand. I have 200,000 impressions in the last 5 days. I don't know what the math on that is. It's ridiculous. It's like 200 times more. And so this is the answer. Because think about it. What does doing more do? It creates all four conditions automatically. There's a time pressure. Because when I have to post when I have to post 45 times a day, I don't have time to waste. There's an immediate stakes. If I don't post 45 times a day, I now have to make 90 posts every the next day, and I'm already short for time. Making 45 posts in 5 to 6 hours is a lot of work. There's a volume target. I'm doing enough work to move my goal forward and build momentum. Of course, I'm going to build momentum. I built more momentum, 200 times the momentum on Twitter in the last 4 days than 2 weeks. And you eliminate distractions. At least you're forced to, again, because what are you going to do? Waste another day? And now double your work? You have to post 90 times in a day? And so that's the secret. That's the harshest productivity lesson you're ever going to learn. It's this: you're just not doing fucking enough. You think you don't know what you want to do. You think you think you're not able to focus. You think it's your ADHD. You think all these bullshit ass lies. The thing is, you just are not doing enough. If you don't know what you want to do, let's say with your content, you're just not doing enough. If you don't know what you want to do with your life, what career field do you want to get into? You're not reading enough. You're not studying enough. You're not learning enough. You're not going out there, taking internships, taking apprenticeships, and actually experiencing enough jobs to know what job you want to work. If you don't know what sort of woman you want, you're just not talking to enough women. Not in a degenerate red pill way, but you're not around women. You are locked in your room, watching Pornhub, beating your meat every day, asking me why the fuck you don't know what woman you want to get to. Because you don't do shit. You don't do enough. That's the answer. That's the truth. You literally don't do enough. You don't do enough every single day with everything you do, and you're wondering why your life sucks. Why you can't produce anything and anything. You don't do enough. I can't drill in how important this is, how much it changed my life. Again, let me reinstate this for you. In 2 to 3 weeks of my 2 year YouTube journey, I got 80% of my results because I just did 45 times the amount of work, if not more. And so here's what I want you to do right now today. Look at your goal and make it 10 times bigger, and then 100x the output. If you said I'm going to make $1,000 by posting a video every week, post a video every day, plus 10 shorts, plus 10 TikToks, plus 10 tweets. Do that for a year. Promise yourself you're going to do that for a year. And then tell me how it changes your life. If you're looking for a wife and you're looking for a high quality relationship, you want to get married like I am, go talk to more women. You don't have to do it in a degenerate way. Unfortunately, I was a degenerate before I became Orthodox, but you don't have to do it in a degenerate way. Just become friends with them. Go to church and talk to every girl at church and, be involved in your community. And tell me if you feel like you have more clarity in the sort of woman you want. When you talk to 100 girls, again, not in a degenerate way, you pick up what sort of behaviors and sort of attitudes you do and do not like. If you don't know what you want to do with your life, do something new every day. Make a video, make a tweet, go to this apprenticeship, help in the community doing this, research this, learn about this, read about this. Do something new every day, and tell me if you don't know what you want to do. Promise me you're gonna 10x your goals and 100x your output. You're going to absolutely attack life with viciousness, with anger, with aggression. You are not no longer. Promise me right now in the comments. Promise me. Tell me what your goal is. 10x it in the comments, and promise me that you're actually going to do far more than you could ever imagine. Become crazy, push it to the edge, do so much that it stresses you out a little, and then tell me if you no longer feel productive. And by the way, if all this is clicking for you and you're asking yourself how you can take your journey further, and you're running into big issues like eliminating your distractions, having accountability, and actually having the support you need to get through the tough times, join Ascent Light. It's my free community. I don't sell you anything. I'm not constantly forcing paid products in your face. There's free resources. I do a free Q&A every day. And right now, for a limited time, I'm actually doing 24/7 chat support because I just want all of your feedback. I want to know exactly what you're dealing with, exactly what you're struggling with, get to know you personally, so that I can build the best free and paid product I can for men. Because truly, my goal is to build the blood and faith movement, to build a coalition of strong Christian men that love their faith, love their blood, love their land, and love their God, and love their fellow men as well. And so if you want to give yourself a free resource for free at no cost to you, no risk,